hood stars enforcing the middle. Jacobs endorsing the deals. We got the coop full of krills. We shoot more than Shaquille. This ain't Buffalo, but my hood stay with the Bills. I'm with it down from Brazil. Them chicks I'm raising ain't hormones. The feds, man.
Alright, so I got some parts for the Ford. We're about to get this thing tuned up and try to take it for a little cruise today. I got all new spark plugs, auto lights. Guys, don't ever buy auto lights. Terrible spark plugs. But it's all they had for this old car, and hopefully they'll keep it together long enough for me to drive around a little bit. They're like $2 a piece, so whatever. We got a belt for it, the belt's coming apart. And I got some high quality store brand conventional oil. Again, not something I normally use, but it's just a budget build. So we're gonna get her tuned up, oil change. So we got the new U-joint installed on the prop shaft, and it looks pretty good. I'm trying to get the oil filter on there, but the seal won't stay put. It's in a really weird spot, and it's like gotta be flat and held in place. So I got some fat that we collect whenever we make bacon in the morning. I don't really have any grease around here. I would have used like bearing grease or something like that, but all I got is fat grease. So we're gonna fatten it up, and maybe hopefully that'll help it stick in place while I put the filter on. Oh, it works pretty good. So you can just see the outer ring there. That's my O-ring, and that fat is holding it right in place. Now I should be able to get my new filter installed. I got the new filter and gaskets installed. I got the new U-joint on. And so as soon as that's all done, we'll throw the wheels on it and see if we can take this thing for a cruise. The plug's coming out of it. It's a Bosch plug. It's a good, decent plug that I'm taking out to put this Autolite crap in. And they don't look super old either. A couple of them are a little oil fouled, but overall not too bad. But some of the spark plug wires were really loose where it connects to the plug. So we're gonna tighten and clean those up, and shouldn't have any issues after this. Hopefully it'll take care of our misfire problem. All right. Now we're oiling her down with our fine O'Reilly's motor oil. And then we're gonna start it up. One of the spark plug wires was just disconnected. So it seems I changed our nice Bosch spark plugs into crappy auto lights for no reason, but we did get that sorted out so that hopefully we won't have any misfire or vibration, and we'll be able to get a nice smooth power delivery on our test drive here in just a moment. All right, she's running. Flip it in there. Right there. I don't see anything leaking down here. I think we're ready for a test drive, boy. Hell yeah. It's still running kind of rough. It might need a new distributor cap or wires or something. I can't tell if it's any better or not. Anyway, we're gonna go drive it. All right, so this is test drive number 2. So this time I got brakes, which is a nice improvement over the last one. And we did a tune-up on it, we did an oil change on it, we fixed the big oil leak, and I replaced a worn-out U-joint. First things first, see if I can get it out of the driveway. And we're out of the garage, and we're out of the driveway, and we're still in control. I think a lot of the shuddering I'm feeling in the driveline is the clutch. I don't hear that noise that I thought was the U-joints anymore. Oh, no. Taking a turn. Alright, our first. I'm not sure if it's possible to drive this thing without grinding the gears, so that's still to be determined. Definitely pulling a little bit when I hit the brakes, but the suspension's just loose as all get out. Oh, look out, modern cars. Don't you see this thing coming at you? Aren't you scared for your life? Look out, people. A kid just screamed and ran from the street. Everything seems to be working okay. We definitely went a little further this time than last time. Alright, we're back in the garage. I'd say we had a pretty successful day. It's running better, stopping a lot better. And it's kind of just this terrifying old car to drive at this point still. Alright, so I got the Z still up on the trailer. I ordered the fuel injector rail and the adapters and everything we need to go to a single billet fuel rail on this thing. You can see the current fuel rail is this big brass piece here, and it's just a mess. It just goes all around the place. It's got these old school injectors that have rubber hoses built onto them, totally outdated crap that there's no performance market or no performance parts for. So today I'm gonna rip the fuel rail off, I should have all the new stuff for next week. It's 3 weeks till race day, or the beginning of race season, and we want to be ready. The old rail out, this big freaking mess. And we're not gonna need that crap anymore. And already the intake looks so much cleaner. What I gotta do is get rid of all this bypass valve crap. I gotta figure out how to plug it off, and we're gonna have a much cleaner look to her. Good riddance. I also wanted to look at my options for running the bigger turbo and see if that's something we can do. The biggest challenge with that task is it's a T4 turbine housing flange, and we have a T3 manifold. There's like no aftermarket manifolds for this thing in existence. So I'd have to use an adapter. Well, that adapter is going to move the turbo out at least 2 inches, maybe 3, 4 inches. I don't even know how much, but it's definitely going to move it out significantly. And the challenge with that is the turbocharger sits very close to the steering shaft. My blanket makes it look a little bigger than it is, but it's pretty close. And so if we move another 2 or 3 inches this direction towards this frame rail, then I think we're going to be interfering with that steering shaft. Really, that's the biggest challenge. I mean, there'd be other little things to overcome. Like, we're currently still utilizing the same bypass valve as factory. So all these tubes here on the top, all this hosing from the intake and into the charge pipe. We're not going to be able to use our original charge pipe with the bigger turbo. We're going to need a bigger charge pipe. So then we're going to be I guess we'll just block all of this crap off, and I'll have to get like an aftermarket blow-off valve. So between the clearance between the steering shaft and then finding a place for the blow-off valve and dealing with all this extra plumbing up here, it's going to be a pretty big task. And I'm not sure if we're going to be able to make the T4 flange work. A lot of guys with the Z's are running T3, T4 hybrid turbos, and I think that's probably the reason, because the space is so limited down there that if you're running a T3 turbine housing, then you don't have to use that adapter to push it out and stuff. So I'm going to look more into that and see what our options are there. I'd really like to be running the bigger turbo, but no matter what, in 3 weeks we're going to have much bigger injectors. I think we're going to go 650s. I might even venture to go a little bit bigger than that, but I got all the stuff coming. I just need to order the injectors and the connectors, and then next week we'll get that all working. No matter what, we're going to do some racing. So with the bigger injectors, we can make the switch to E85. So even if we're running the stock turbo, just the E85 conversion is going to give us a little more power. It's going to enable us to use a little bit more timing. It should totally get rid of any detonation that's been happening. So just getting rid of knock adds power in itself, but also a lot more aggressive timing. And maybe we can squeeze a pound or two more out of this turbo. We've never really tried because we ran out of fuel. We ran out of injectors. So we're going to try that and see how it goes. I'm making yet another attempt at success with our eBay handbrake. This thing is killing me. So I'm going to do all of the fittings on the bench in a vise, make sure everything is snug and tight before I even attempt to put it in the car. And I'm just going to leave some ends on the lines, and we'll just use unions to attach it to the lines that are in the car once I'm sure that it's all going to be good and tight. That actually feels pretty good so far. Then Friday, when we go to put our new injectors and fuel rail in and everything, we're going to try this puppy out, and I think it's going to work this time. All right, so I got both fittings in, perfectly flared and torqued down to maximum torque. I'm feeling good about it this time, so I'm gonna go ahead and bend them and get them ready for installation. So this is what I ended up with. I went ahead and bent the lines down. We got all the fittings super tight. So now, whenever we go to put it in the car, we'll just put it on the tunnel like that. And these will already go down to where our existing hoses are. And here's hoping those things hold up. Please, please don't leak. So not a whole lot of content to cover this week, but I did want to give a little update on the Ford. We got a lot of the issues taken care of. We've got the car pretty much road ready for the most part, but I haven't registered it. I haven't transferred title. And after looking into what all the car needs still, as far as cosmetic and just remaining work that needs to be done to it, tires and everything else, I've decided I think I'm just going to post it online and see what kind of interest I get in it. I plan to post it for sale for a reasonable profit for the amount of work that we've put into it. But with the Z project and everything else that's going on, race season's 3 weeks away, and I need the Z to be ready, and I need to be able to put the money into it that it really needs in order to have a good race season. So the Ford was a fun idea. It was something I was really into, but once we got into it and figured out just how hard it is to find parts for it and all these little trim pieces and odds and ends that it takes to make a car this old into an actual usable machine, it's just not feasible for me to continue on this endeavor. So I'm gonna post it online. I'm not gonna sell it unless I make a reasonable profit for it, but the profit that I make from it will definitely be utilized towards getting the Z where we need it to be. So might have some garage space open here pretty soon. I might fill it with something, or I might just kind of wait and see if any good deals come along. I have a lot of interest in something of the rotary variety. So maybe we'll see RX-7 or RX-8 sitting in here at some point that we can do some work to. But for the meantime, I think I just want to dump it off on someone who's willing to take on the task of hunting down the parts. But we'll see if we get any kind of interest in it. Furthermore, if we just run out of things to do to the Z or get stalled up, I got a car sitting right here that is ready for some work. And I think if I can get a decent profit off of the Ford, then maybe we look into doing some work to it. And it's a very low miles C6 Corvette with a supercharger, LS2 stock motor on it as well. And I'd like to do some more stuff to it. But parts for it, to modification on it, is a lot of labor and it's very expensive parts. So I've never really done anything with it as far as that goes. So who knows, maybe we make a good profit off of the Ford and I can throw a nasty cam and some heads on the Vet. It's something I want to spend a little bit more time and money on rather than take on a crazy classic car project that's going to require tons of time and money. I have plenty of other cars sitting around here that we can play with. So maybe we go the rotary route. Maybe we put some money into the Vet. I don't really know where we're going to end up, but I want to post the Ford for sale, and I hope I can turn a good profit off of it, and it'll be worth the time and the memories that we made along the way.